Okay, now we continue with the calculation of NPV. Okay, and we are still doing for non-dividend growth model method. Okay, but this time we are calculating the NPV for stock offer. What is the NPV if the acquiring company here, the acquirer Amber Heart, pay to what is it, target firm Amber Heart buy stock. Okay, the acquiring company pay by stock to the target firm. So how are we going to calculate the NPV? Just now we calculated the NPV for cash offer. Okay, it's done now. Now we will continue with the stock offer. NPV of merger, but this time, alright, using the stock offer. Okay, alright, so the formula for calculating the NPV is actually still the same. We are still using this one, synergy, okay, minus premium. And we need to know what is the meaning of premium. This is the excess amount going to be paid to the target firm. Okay, how much you pay to the target firm in excess. Okay, all right, next. All right, so what is the amount of synergy? So we already know that synergy amount is given in the question, 120 million. So you can refer back to the information here, the last sentence. Okay, now the company is offering stock, Amber Heart. This time company Amber Heart offering stock. This one is for part A, but part B, company offers stock to the target firm. Okay, right, how many stocks the Amber Heart offer to Amber Heart? So it's stated here, M offer 1 share for every share in Amber Heart. So how many shares Amber Heart's outstanding here? Number of shares outstanding in Amber Heart, 50 million shares. Okay, now that means, okay, the exchange ratio, okay, for the stock offer, okay, Amber Heart to Amber Heart, okay, that means 1 share for every share in Amber Heart. That is the ratio going to be 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so if Amber Heart shares outstanding is 50 million shares, this is the number of shares that Amber Heart going to acquire from Amber Heart. That means Amber Heart must offer how many shares for these 50 shares? So 1 over 50 million, sorry, balik saja. 50, alright, 50 million shares divided by 1 share and multiply by 1 share. So what does it mean? That means Amber Heart should offer 50 million shares to Amber Heart. Okay, right, if the ratio, this is the exchange ratio, right, the exchange ratio. So if the exchange ratio, let's say the exchange ratio is what, 1 share for every 2 shares in Amber Heart. Okay, so if the number of shares outstanding in Amber Heart is 50, that means based on this new exchange ratio, 1 share for 2 shares in N. So therefore, in order to get 50 million shares from N, M must offer how many shares? So 50 million shares, you divide by 2 and you multiply by 1. So therefore, the number of shares should be offered by M Berhad equals to 25 million shares. So that is another situation. Okay, if the exchange ratio is 1 to 2. Okay, but in our example, the exchange ratio is 1 to 1. So based on this 1 to 1 ratio, therefore M must offer 50 million shares, same as what N Berhad has issued here, because 1 to 1 ratio. Okay, now we are calculating the NPV. Okay, we continue class. Right, the calculations of NPV of the merger using stock offer. Okay, right, synergy minus premium. Okay, so the synergy again is 120 million and you minus the premium. Alright, what is the formula of premium? If it's cash offer, alright, the cash paid, alright, minus current value of N Berhad, right? But this time we are using stock offer. That means if it's a stock offer, so the amounts to be paid by M Berhad to N Berhad is in the form of stock. So we can put here stock offer. Okay, stock offer, you minus the current value of N. Okay, the difference is stock offer here. So how many stocks to be offered by M Berhad to N? We already calculated, that is 50 million shares, right? So we just put here 50 million shares and you minus what? The current value of N. What is the current value of N? So the current value of N we already calculated, that is 150 million. Where do you get this figure from? This one, from this calculation. Okay, we already calculated here. So same as what we did for the cash offer. This one is not, it's still the same. Okay, now we go back to this calculation. So here it's 50 million shares. So if you are using this figure 50 million shares, and this one is in RM and also here, so if you use this figure 50 million shares here, that means you are unable to solve this equation. So what is our solution then? Our solution here, we need to convert this 50 million shares here into RM. We want to know what is the value of the 50 million shares, right, offered by M Berhad to N Berhad. So we want to know what is the value of these 50 million shares in RM. So how are we going to convert these 50 million shares to RM? Then we need to go back to the formula. So the formula here, look at the second column, stock offer. Where is it? This one. So we need to use this formula. Okay, find the cost here. Number 5. Okay, I just show you this one. Okay, that means alpha multiplied by value of the combined firm. Okay, so let's go back to the calculation. That means, right, so I continue, 120 million synergy, you minus, okay, To convert 50 million shares into RM, we are going to use this formula, alpha multiplied by value of the combined firm. Okay, M dan N. Alright, and then don't forget to minus the 150 million ringgit, the value of the current company, current value of the target firm. Okay, alright, so you put here. Are you following? Okay, so hopefully you can follow my calculation. Alright, now we still continue 120 million. Now, what is alpha? Let's go back to the formula. What is alpha? Alpha is the proportion of shares owned by the acquired firm. Acquired firm, that means the target firms, shareholders in the combined firm. So, alpha is the percentage of the ownership. Okay, the ownerships of the new shareholders. Alright, which is from N Berhad, the target firms. So how many percent these new shareholders own the company? Okay, so how are we going to determine the percentage of ownership? Right, so this is the formula. New shares issued to the shareholders, and you divide by the total shares issued by M Berhad. Okay, let's go back to this one. That means this is the percentage of ownership. Percentage of ownership, right, of the new shareholders, and these shareholders come from N Berhad. Okay, in the combined firm. Maknanya company yang baru. Combined company. So how are you going to calculate the percentage of ownership? This is the formula. The new shares issued, okay, divide by total shares issued by M Berhad. Okay, new shares issued and divide by total shares issued. By who? By M Berhad. Okay, so now, how many shares issued by M Berhad? 50 million shares. To who? To N Berhad shareholders. Therefore, you put these 50 million shares. And now, what happened to the number of shares issued by M Berhad now? Okay, after issuing 50 million shares to M Berhad. So currently, the number of shares issued by M Berhad is 100 million shares only. But now, they issue additional shares, 50 million shares to M Berhad. So stock offer is 50 million shares. So that means, right, this one, the number of shares issued now by M Berhad is 50 million shares, the new one, and you plus the existing shares issued by this company, 100 million shares. Okay, and you multiply by the value of the combined firm. So how to calculate the value of the combined firm? So value of the combined firm, okay, equals to what? Value of M plus value of N plus synergy. Okay, and then don't forget to minus this value, current value of the target firm. Okay, and then the bracket. Okay, now continue our calculation. Next level, same amount of synergy, 120 million. You minus, what is the percentage of this ownership by the new shareholders? 50 divided by 150. So the ownership is about 33.33%. This is the ownership of the new shareholders in the combined firm after the mergers. And you multiply by what is the value of the combined firm? Value of M So what is value of M? Change here. Okay, this one 33.33% and multiply by what is the value of the combined firm. Alright, so what is the value of M? Value of M, this one, right? We already calculated actually, so this is the one. Okay, what is the value of M? B plus S. B is 0, S is 6 ringgit multiplied by 100 million. So that means value of M is 600 million ringgit and value of N is 150 million. Okay, so let's go to the calculation. Right, value of M is 600 million ringgit plus value of N is 150 million ringgit plus synergy is given 120 million ringgit. Alright, so this is the alpha multiplied by value of the combined firm. Okay, we use this formula for what? For calculating the value of this 50 million shares. Alright, and then don't forget again to minus the current value of the target firm, because we want to know the premium, not only the cost of the 50 million shares. Alright, so 120 million. The student always careless when they are calculating this part. Okay, they always forgot to include this, to minus this, because they focus too much on this. Okay, until they forgot to include this value, the target company's current value. Okay, now, so what is this value? Okay, that means you multiply by 600, 150, 750, 750, right, plus 120. You multiply by 600 plus 150, okay, plus 120. Hold on, let me 750 plus, okay, 870. Alright, and then you multiply by the value of the combined firm here is 870 million. Okay, you multiply by alpha 33.33%. Okay, so you multiply by 50. Right, you divide by 150. So the value here equals to 290 million and minus 150 million. Alright, so therefore, right, so what is the premium then? Okay, so this is the synergy. You minus, okay, now 290 minus, okay, 150. So you get the premium of, this is the excess amount paid by M Berhad to N Berhad, but in the form of shares. So therefore, the NPV will be negative 20 million. So that means, right, it's a negative value, right? So that means if the acquiring company, M Berhad, pay by stock to N Berhad, the NPV of the merger will be a negative value as compared to cash offer. Okay, so if it's a cash offer, then the merger's NPV will be a positive value. Okay, right, I guess that's all for now. I hope you can see the difference between the calculations of NPV between the cash offer and the stock offer.